And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, another view of this. Joining us from Philadelphia, Fox News analyst Dr. Marc Lamont Hill. So, folks in New York City, doctor, walking into the police stations or the police coming to them after in the hospital or wherever they may be, they themselves say in 69% of the violent cases, black people did it, 5% white. How do you respond to that?
Well, there's two things that I would say. The first thing I'd say is, as a social scientist, I can tell you that self-report studies are notoriously unreliable. And given sort of racial misidentification research that we have, we know that when people are unsure about the race of their assailant, they tend to err on the side of black and brown. So I would say the study itself is unreliable. But more importantly, the police aren't targeting criminals. They're targeting innocent people. 90% of the people who have been stopped and frisked in New York over the last 2 years have been innocent, and the police have admitted as such. And so we're not stopping criminals, we're intimidating everyday citizens and turning into a police state, which I think is very dangerous and scary.
Do you really think you live in a police state? I mean, you're going to move here to New York City. I mean, come on, look. The police stop and frisk citizens on the street that they consider to either, one, be a suspect, or two, be there for no explainable reason. I mean, the cops just don't go around picking out black people and questioning them. That's a waste of their time. They're not going to do it. I know that. You know that.
But Bill, 86% of the people who have been stopped and frisked are black or Latino. So either black and brown people are always in the wrong place at the wrong time,
or
there's a racial component to
this. The proportion of violent crime committed by black citizens is much higher. That's all.
But that's a different argument.
No,
you're saying
because
the reason
they're stopping and frisking to try to find out who did what to whom.
But Bill, you're saying that they're stopping and frisking people who appear to be suspicious or in the wrong place at the wrong time. But 90% of the time, they're wrong by their own admission.
Well,
so clearly, they're doing it for the wrong reason.
That's not a startling statistic at all. I mean,
not for me.
Not for anybody.
But for the people
it's 90% of the time they're wrong about blacks and whites. 90% of the time they don't get anything.
That's not true. But that's absolutely not true. If you look at data around the nation, for example, in Maryland or in New Jersey even, when you look at people who are stopped or stopped on highways, or you look at people who are driving and get pulled over, white passengers have a much higher rate of having contraband in the cars, yet black people get pulled over more.
Right.
So white guys...
I haven't seen that study, but I believe the RAND study. You don't. Now, do you believe me when I say, and I can prove this, that the ACLU primarily thinks that society, because we're an unjust country and have been bad to blacks and Native Americans and other minorities, that the establishment is biased against them, that we Americans have caused the crime wave and that we can't take it out on the criminal because they commit violent acts. Do you subscribe to that?
No, I think it's a bigger issue here. The idea of proactive policing, to me, is oxymoronic. If you're at the stage where you're stopping citizens, everyday innocent citizens, you've already gone beyond the problem. There are deeper issues. Look, the police have a tough job. And the way they make their job easier is not to pull over innocent citizens. It's to create structures to reduce crime.
You don't reduce crime by doing it. It's worked great. It's worked great here. This proactive policing, broken windows theory, getting people for low-life crimes off the street because they commit majority of crimes has worked terrific. Look, would you like to go back to where it was here in New York before Giuliani came in? When
Absolutely not.
You know, the murder rate was 5 times higher. So the proactive policing has brought that down. It's almost like the waterboarding in a Tufts-enhanced interrogation kept us safe after 9/11. But now you guys don't want any of that, so we're going to go back to pre-9/11 security measures. You see,
no.
You want it both ways, but you can't have it both ways.
No. I want responsible, sensible policing
that addresses criminals and crime. There's a very low rate of police corruption here in New York and police abuse here in New York.
That's untrue. And if you look around the country, you'll see that what the police do is in Los Angeles. I'll give you an example. For example, in Los Angeles. Right, but we're talking about around the country, but we could say New York as well. Thousands of cases of police brutality are filed every year.
Very low.
Almost none. Yeah, but none are acknowledged. In Los Angeles, not one was acknowledged by the LAPD. That suggests that the police are not taking these things seriously. Either that or there's no instance.
I can't vouch for that stat. What I'm trying to tell you is, Doctor, if you're going, you and the ACLU and all of your other left-wing friends are going to object to all of the measures that keep Americans safe, whether it be against al-Qaeda or whether it be against killers and rapists. If you're going to object, you're going to have more dead people. And
I just want to protect our civil liberties, Bill.
I think when you move to New York, you'll be happy with the level of policing that's going on here, and you'll see that the ACLU is putting us all in danger by attacking those police officers. Dr. Reed, always good to debate you. Thank you. Next on the Rundown.